Hi, you joined me 1 week on from my failed FM portable attempt when the weather was absolutely atrocious. Well, now we've got a cracking winter's day, blue sky, hard frost, a very little wind, sun's out, and over there is the lovely village of Castleton, just in silhouette beneath the sun. That's where we're going next. But this idyllic scene is about to take a sinister turn. This is the village of Castleton on the North York Moors, one of many villages in the Esk Valley, a lovely part of the world, and we're climbing out now, and we're going to visit a nuclear bunker, a secret nuclear bunker, so I hope I can actually find it. I've never been before. I've spied Mark's car and his DX Commander, and we're a bit off road now. So here we are at the bunker. You might be able to hear the generator running in the background. DX Commander, classic I think that is. It's a little bit blowy up here on the tops. That looks like a ventilation shaft, and this looks like the way in. And we've got to go down there. Right, so we've made it down the ladder in one piece, and we're now into the Guisborough District Amateur Radio Club's operating base, the nuclear bunker, and we're about to meet Mark G0UOK. Say hello, Mark.
Welcome to the bunker, Ian.
And this is it. I'll just pan round and then ask Mark to give us a tour. It's a bit eerie. We're in a not very big concrete unit, and it's buried underground. It's got all sorts of kit in here, and Mark's going to just give us a bit of a tour, tell us a bit of history, and then we'll take a bit more of a look at the historical gear plus Mark's radio kit as well. So this is a map of the bunkers around the UK. There's lots of them, but for where of interest in this green one here, that's where we are, in a secret location. And the purpose of the bunkers in the Cold War, these were observation points, so there would be people tasked with living in here for weeks on end, locals, volunteers, the Royal Observer Corps, and they would basically take measurements and observe and feed back after a nuclear blast. So how grim's that? So Mark will just give us a tour, and we'll see how we get on. Over to you, Mark.
Yeah, well, that's the map, as you said, with all the various locations, hundreds of them all over the UK, and as you said, people would live down here for anything a week to 3 weeks. They'd be here before they got the call, so they would man. There'd be 4 people in the post, 2 people working, 2 people
and we've
on
got
the rest.
bunk beds down there, yeah, for 2.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get not much sleep, I don't think.
So the jerry cans contain the water and fuel for the generator. The generator is operated on the surface and would recharge the batteries. There's 2 batteries and there's a split charging system.
All right, yep.
So you can operate from one battery, charge the other, and then switch the batteries over. So when they were here, if there was a bomb went off, the handle device, that's where you get your 3-minute warning from. So this is operational, but it stays silent until it's activated,
yeah,
and then all hell breaks loose.
just to show how recent this has still got British Telecom markings, and Mark told me this was operational till 1991, he said?
Yeah, this one was 1991. It's got the polystyrene tiles on the wall. The earlier ones were closed down in 1986.
So it's all quite current. This is still sort of living memory stuff. We're not all oldies. This is in recent times. So on this end, what have we got down here?
Well, the 3 stations, there's this one, there's one in Rosedale and one in Gothland. The 3 of them are linked together, and we have down here the intercom. So this is used for the 3 stations to talk to each other. That's a fixed landline.
Again, BT gear. Yeah.
So that they can communicate. And this one is the control centre for the 3. So this one has the additional radio, the home office radio. It's about 81 megahertz.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a Clark pump up mast on the surface, and the coax and the cables runs down the air vent.
So as I said, this was manned by volunteers, or even womaned by volunteers, and in the event of a call out, they would come up here, and in the event of a blast, a nuclear blast, they had certain tasks to complete. So if you could just tell us a bit about that, Mark.
Yeah, well, one of the first tasks would be to warn the local residents. So there is an air raid siren. A lot of this isn't kept in the bunker, so there's a lot of artefacts that aren't here at the moment. So there's an air raid siren that they would take up to the surface and operate that for about 60 seconds before getting back down the hole. There is also a maroon pack as well, so they can launch the maroons.
And gas masks.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be standard issue. So once they're down here, and if there was a blast, one of the measuring devices is there's a camera on the surface. And it takes 4 pieces of paper, north, east, south and west, and it's marked with a graph, and it's just basically a pinhole camera, so they can measure the altitude and that of the blast and how big it is. The photographic paper has to be stored in a special black bag.
Yes, so it's not exposed to light. Presumably they report back to government HQ.
Yeah,
some boffin works out all the maths on the blast.
Yeah, they would do that. Then they have a blast gauge. Again, it's not here, but it is here when we have the open days, and the blast gauge will tell them the strength of the blast.
So that's a pressure meter, effectively. That pipe presumably goes up to the surface.
Yeah.
And I think it measures air pressure from the blast.
Yeah. And there is other measuring devices, Geiger counters, and
a Geiger counter. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, and then each member of staff would carry a personal dosimeter.
All right, so personal alert on whether they're being, radiated.
Yeah, so they can monitor themselves.
So presumably that camera, someone has to go outside and retrieve the paper from the device. So they've got to take big risks.
Yeah.
Personally, and they're the locals, so they know they're in here, but their relatives and friends are all down the dale in the village, taking the full effects, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we've got a few modern cables, but down here you can see that's a sump for any water ingress, and we've got a manual pump. Mark's just explained that rotates to pump
to the surface,
pump the water back out up there, and also importantly, it's a bit like when astronauts go into space. Where do you go to the loo? Well, we actually have a chemical toilet, so there is all mod cons down here. So Mark, can you tell me a bit about the recent history of the bunker and how the club's got involved?
Yeah, well, it's only a new club. We started during COVID.
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
Ron G0UOK came up with the idea of just having a net and getting a few locals together, and then it developed into a meeting and turned into an RSGB affiliated club. The bunker, we came about the bunker because it's the young lad Jack who owns it. He has open days.
Right,
so I approached him to do special event stations on his open days, and he said it'd be a great idea. Loved the idea.
Yeah.
But he also said, would we like to use the bunker because we would look after it.
Yeah.
And
so that benefits him as well.
Yeah, so it would be in use. So that's how we came about using the bunker.
So there's open days, there's bunker days, there's radio days as well.
Yeah, we are here, special event stations. We work from the surface on the open days.
Yeah.
And if you want to book an open day and come and have a look round, have a look at Castleton Nuclear Bunker on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's posted on there. Other amateur radio operators are allowed to come down if they get in touch with us on the email on QRZ. Then whenever we're operating, more than welcome to come down.
Right, you. Right, Mark, so can you tell me a bit about the radio that the club's using and your setup?
Yeah, it's my personal radios. Club members can bring their own kit. We've got the FTDX10 down here. This is run from the generator on the surface.
Yeah, I saw that earlier up on top, yeah.
Yeah, we're running 100 watts and we do have a linear available, so we can run the legal 400 watts.
What's that over there on your right? That looks like a Klansman.
Yeah, that's a Klansman 320. The idea behind that is when we do the open days, we wanted a period radio to operate from the surface. So again, you know, the military background is a little bit more of an interest for visitors.
And what you used on top? It looked like a DX Commander Classic, I saw.
Yeah, big thank you to Callum. He sorted us out with the DX Commander, a few extra bits and that with it. So yeah, lovely chap. The antenna actually works really well.
Oh, excellent.
Really happy with that.
And I'm guessing it's really quiet here. I know we're not far from the village, but
the noise floor is zero.
Great.
Yeah, there's no QRM at all. Yeah, nothing. We have a 4G router up on the surface.
All right.
So we have the Ethernet cable comes down, so we have internet access.
So all modcom. So it's interesting just to compare the DX10, the Klansman, and then the dedicated radio up in that cupboard. There's lots of different eras of telecommunication in here now. Ironically, for what is a presumably 1940s, 50s bunker.
Yeah, since using the bunker as well, we've got a lot more interest in the club. There is a new operator actually due in about half an hour who's going to sit his M7
excellent.
Exam, just because he's interested in coming down and operating from the bunker. That's the air vent that's at the end of the bunker. That's the protective cap. Inside there you'll find the connectors. There's an N-type connector for the antenna.
All right, yeah.
There's a pneumatic connector for the pump up mast, and there's also a 12-volt socket in there because the generator would be up here.
Yeah.
And that's connected to the battery.
Okay,
downstairs.
yeah. What are these other things sticking up over here?
This is for the blast meter.
Oh yeah, the blast, yeah.
Sorry, that one there is for the blast meter.
Yes.
That one there is for that unknown device.
Yeah, we're not sure what that is.
We'll have to Google that one.
Yeah, the thing in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And over here on top of the hatch, some modern aerials.
Oh, Dalek.
Yeah.
That's the mounting point for the camera, for the pinhole camera. So that would sit little dome on here. And this is our 4G router setup.
Oh yeah, excellent. Modern technology.
So the Cat5 cable runs down into the bunker.
So that's why you've got QRZ working and stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
So my thanks to Mark and the Guisborough and District Amateur Radio Club. That was a cracking day out. Thanks to Mark especially, he got there early. He carried all that equipment, all the radio equipment and the artefacts down into the bunker himself. He had to lower it down the hatch because the bunker's left empty and secure when there's nobody there. So thanks to him for that effort, and great day out. All the details of the club are down in the description below. 73.